I saw the new Oz Perkins film, The Keeper. Let's talk about it. The Keeper tells the story of Liz, played by Tatiana Maslany, who's going to a weekend cabin getaway with her boyfriend, Dr. Malcolm, for the 1-year anniversary. It is a small film. It's a very limited cast. There's mainly only 4 characters, and of those, 2 of them are barely on the screen. It's mainly Liz and Dr. Malcolm, and of that, Malcolm isn't on the screen much. This is really carried by Tatiana Maslany. It's small. It's basically one location, the woods around the cabin and the cabin itself. It's a supernatural movie. Tatiana is haunted by visions and monsters in this cabin over the run of the movie. It's claustrophobic feeling. I really enjoyed it. I looked at some other reviews. I actually saw it almost a week ago, and I've just been sort of thinking about it through the week. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know that it's one I'll revisit very often. Maybe one more viewing to see what I missed. But with that being said, I still think it's definitely worth a watch. A lot of people didn't seem to like this movie, and I think that's really unfortunate. In an environment where remakes are being remade with bigger budgets and new IPs really aren't getting a lot of traction very frequently, from what I can tell. When Oz Perkins puts out a movie like this, it's different, it's unique, I found it very interesting. People just don't seem to gravitate towards that. That's not to say it doesn't have its flaws. It definitely does. And you also may want to take this with a grain of salt, because one of my favorite movies is 1408, which is largely just John Cusack in a hotel room. And I love that movie. So this type of film is really up my alley. And if that's something you're into, I would highly recommend it. I don't know really what else I can say without spoilers. So this is going to be your spoiler warning. If you want to see the movie without spoilers, now's your time to jump ship. So Dr. Malcolm is taking Liz to his family cabin, or his personal cabin in the woods, for this weekend getaway. And Liz is expecting this secluded, private, intimate weekend. And the first night they're there, they're having dinner, and Malcolm's cousin Darren shows up with his girlfriend Minka. And Darren is just an asshole. He's just a raging asshole. You can tell Liz is really irritated. Minka's a model, and she's European and apparently doesn't speak very much English. A cake shows up. Malcolm says it was left by the caretaker. Minka does speak enough English to tell Liz that the cake tastes terrible. So Darren and Minka leave, and Malcolm says he needs to cut Liz a slice of the cake, and it's chocolate. She says she doesn't like chocolate, but he says you have to try a piece anyway. And I don't know why she just doesn't say no. She says, look, I don't like chocolate cake. What's the big deal? But she agrees to eat a piece. She says it tastes like shit. She eats it anyway. Then later that night, she wakes up in the middle of the night, goes down, and just devours the cake. The next day, Dr. Malcolm says that he got a call, and he has to go into the hospital. He'll be a few hours. He's very apologetic, and he leaves Liz alone in the house. And while she's alone in the house, she starts seeing these weird visions, hearing weird noises. The stuff just really starts going off. And a lot of this movie hinges on Tatiana Maslany's ability to sell us on the fact that she is terrified, that weird things are happening, that she is maybe going crazy, or doesn't know if she's going crazy. She doesn't know what's happening. When Dr. Malcolm shows back up, he is scared when he sees her, and we find out that that's because he expected her to be dead by the time he got home. Apparently, when they were kids, him and his cousin Darren shot at this woman that was giving birth by a lake in these woods. And they got her and brought her up to this cabin, to like a barn by this cabin, threw in and locked her in there. While she was in there, she gave birth. And what she gave birth to were these monsters. And so the deal is, I guess, Malcolm and Darren have to keep feeding these monsters victims over the years, and that extends their lives. Unfortunately for them, Liz, resembles the mother that gave birth to these kids, so they take a liking to her. So they decide not to kill her, and they adopt her as their new mother. And we see Malcolm start to age, and at the end of the movie, Liz kills him, and she's left to live with these monsters in this cabin. Again, it's a small movie, not a lot goes on, but I really enjoyed it. I don't have a great history with Oz Perkins. I did, however, I loved The Monkey. I know a lot of people really liked Longlegs. I couldn't get into Longlegs. I like Nicolas Cage, but I like Nicolas Cage when he's being Nicolas Cage. You know, he's got this giant personality, and Longlegs, for me, I couldn't separate him from the killer. So it really took me out of the movie. So I couldn't get into that. But The Monkey I thought was amazing. I never saw Blackcoat's Daughter. But if you're into Oz Perkins movies, I think this is worth checking out. If you're into these claustrophobic, scary movies where largely one actor really has to sell you on their performance, I think this is definitely worth seeing. I would recommend it at least once. Watch it once and judge for yourself. Don't listen to everybody that says it's bad. There's a lot of subtlety, a lot of nuance. It's quiet. A lot of the movie is quiet, but there's a lot going on in that silence. You really sort of have to pay attention. And if you do, I really think it's worth it. So I highly recommend going to see it at least once. Let me know if you saw it. Let me know what you thought. Or if you plan to see it, or if you don't plan to see it, and why. All right, thanks a lot. I'll catch you all next time.